Hello friends, welcome back to Knowledge Institute. I'm Pratap Bhosle. Welcomes you to our third lecture in this zoology lecture series. Okay. Today's our lecture is about the fluid mosaic model of the membrane, right? So for those who have not joined my Telegram group, they can just search in the Telegram global search and join my Telegram group. Also, please subscribe to this channel where you are watching this video, and also those who have not purchased this previous year questions book, I recommend you to purchase, because it will also give you an idea about what kind of questions are asked among the topics given. So let's start our today's lecture. But first of all, I have already circulated the notes on this point also in the Telegram channel and the group. So the notes might look bulkier, like the 20-page book, but actually I have just given a large space in the notes, so that's why I could cut short it up to 10 or 15 pages, but it would be aesthetically good if I keep it just separated. Okay. And again, there are actually 10 marks or 15 marks or 20 marks questions in the exam, which are we just have only 2 pages or 3 pages to write. Okay, so someone might say that how we could accommodate all these 20 pages answer in 3 pages or 2 pages. Okay, so but what I say is that I have in every point I have given more information and I have given more examples in it. Okay, you just have to write at least one of it, right? Whichever you like. Okay. And once you have gone through these notes, that is your skill how you can manage in 2 pages or 3 pages. Okay. And not only this, even if you don't understand that how you could manage this 20 pages or cut short this third to 10 pages notes into a 3 pages answer of 20 marks, you just rest assured, because I'm going to give you the answer of all the previous year questions which I have given in my book. Obviously at some point of this course you will have to pay for it, right? So but right now everything is going only free, and the YouTube lecture will be there free for always, right? Only for the notes you will have to pay. Okay. And for now just keep your concentration of the notes, sorry, the lecture only. Okay, so let's start with the today's lecture. We have already seen the introduction of the fluid mosaic model in the last lecture, so we will not indulge into it and just explain the diagram. This is the specific diagram which you will not find it in any book. I have just drawn it for you. Okay, and it is a best simplified diagram of the lipid mosaic model. Okay, which have all the constituents of this membrane model. Okay, book में बहुत बार 3 dimensional diagram है. अभी how you can draw a 3 dimensional diagram, okay, in the exam. Okay, so आपके लिए मैं इतना simplify कर चुका हूँ कि ये निकालने के लिए भी easy है, और it has all the components of the fluid mosaic model. Okay, so let's see one by one, or just see the information about this diagram first. So इस diagram में क्या क्या है? First, it has a lipid bilayer. Okay, so these are the hydrophilic heads and these are the hydrophobic tails. And why it is called as bilayer? Because this is for one layer and this is second layer of the lipid, so that's why it is called a lipid bilayer. What type of proteins does it have? It has integral protein and the peripheral proteins. Okay, so this is integral protein. Why? Because it has crossed this lipid bilayer throughout. It is also called a transmembrane because it has gone through a direct contact with this hydrophobic core of the bilayer, so that's why it is transfer. And why these are called as peripheral? These three are peripheral. Okay, these are peripheral because they are not in direct contact with this lipid core. They are to the extracellular, or the much away from the, or the intracellular, but away from this bilayer, and extracellular away from this bilayer, so that's why they are peripheral. Along with it, it also has what? Cholesterol, or the sterols inside it. It also has glycolipids. These are what? Carbohydrates attached to the hydrophilic groups of the lipids, and the glycoproteins, carbohydrate attached to the proteins, so that's why they are glycoprotein. Okay, so now let's see one by one. But before that, there was a question in the 2019 about the chemical composition of the lipid bilayer. Now all these constituents like glycoprotein, protein, lipids, cholesterol, sterols are the biochemical composition, okay, which you will explain in a regular question. But when you will be when you have asked a specific about the chemical composition or the biochemical composition of the plasma membrane only, so at that time you will have to mention some figures along with the explanation of other parts also. Like I have given you two examples, you can mention any one. Okay, so what the myelin sheath plasma membrane or the RBC plasma membrane has, main parts are the proteins, lipids and carbohydrates. Out of these, lipids is further classified into all this type: cholesterol, phosphatidylserine, choline, sphingomyelin, glycolipids and others. Okay, you can just mention any one example. So let's start with the phospholipid bilayer, how the structure is and why it is called as phospholipid in bilayer. Before that, let's see the structure of the phospholipid. The phospholipids has one hydrophilic group or the head, which has two chemical groups in it, phosphate and the glycerol. And the phospholipid structure also has one hydrophobic group or the tail. In the hydrophobic groups or the tails, there are actually two chains. One is saturated, one is unsaturated. Okay, what is meant by unsaturated? It has one double bond. Okay, and these saturated and unsaturated chains are attached to this what, hydrophilic head. And such lipid molecules are arranged in a layer by in opposite way also. Okay, in such a way that hydrophobic tails are in opposite directions to each other and also adjacent to each other. So that's why it forms a bilayer, right? This is called as a phospholipid bilayer. What are the different functions? That the framework of the, it forms the framework of biological membrane, storehouse of energy. It anchors some proteins to the surface membrane. Like in case of this peripheral protein is anchored with the help of this lipid, right? Or sometimes, sorry, not this. Suppose this protein is anchored or the bind to the membrane with the help of the interaction with these lipid groups, right? Next, there are three main classes of the lipids: that the phosphoglycerides, sphingolipids, and sterols. Right? In the phosphoglycerides, what is the main point? It is the glycerol phosphate, glycerol 3-phosphate derivative. Okay, and example is phosphatidyl inositol. Right? What is in the structure? You can mention, or you just because we have already mentioned the structure of the phospholipids as having two chains and one hydrophilic head. Okay, so we can just skip it. Then the plasmalogen, it was the plasmalogen, it has one acyl chain which are attached to glycerol by ester linkage and another by ether linkage. Okay, to this glycerol, one linkage is attached, one chain is attached by ester and one is attached by ether linkage. So these are the plasmalogens, phosphoglycerides. The sphingolipids are what? Sphingosine derivative. An example is what? Sphingomyelin. Or you can give another example of amphiphilic glyco sphingolipids, which are present in the nervous tissue, right? Which are called as what? Glycocerebrosides or gangliosides. Okay, so these are the sphingolipids. The sterols, the main example is what? This cholesterol. Okay, and what's the structure is like? Let's explain. Okay, so this is the lipid bilayer membrane, right? This is the main hydrophobic core. So the cholesterol group has one polar head group, along with to it one rigid steroid ring is attached, and it has a non-polar hydrocarbon tail attached to it. So because of this, the structure of the cholesterol, it gives a different effect on the fluidity of the membrane. Okay, as we have seen, because of this lipids, the membrane is in fluid motion, so that's why it affects the fluidity, but how, it will going to study in its separate point. Okay, so for now just remember the sterols example is what? Cholesterol and its other analogs. And what is the important is that its structural support to the membrane, it prevents the tight packaging, is the precursor of the and the main important function was it is a precursor for several bioactive molecules. Okay, so these are the three types of lipids. And then also there is a glycolipid also, which are the carbohydrate groups attached to the lipid molecules or the hydrophilic heads. And what is the function? This maintain the stability of the cell membrane and facilitate the cellular recognition of important immune responses. And what are the types of these glycolipids? These are sphingolipids, or the sphingo, or the glycosyl phosphatidylinositols, so GPIs. Next type, important type, is the peripheral membrane protein. Okay. Now these are formed from amino acids, right? And why they are called as peripheral? Because they do not attach to hydrophobic molecules directly, and they adhere only temporarily to the biological membrane. Okay, so that's why they can easily separated out from the membrane, and they associated with the membrane with the electrostatic interaction or the hydrogen bonding. Okay, and the location is also there are on the cytoplasmic aspect, the inner leaflet, and in case of some cells, the outer leaflets also possess, but it is covalently linked by glycolipids. Okay. Next, let's see how the peripheral membrane proteins binds with the membrane. Okay, so in that, actually, in the proteins there are three types. Okay, peripheral, integral, and in some books it is also given as what? Third type is given, lipid anchored proteins. See, what's the case in case of this lipid anchored protein is that these are the examples of the lipid anchored protein, right? The isoprenoid tail, or the myristoyl tail, or the GPI anchored. आप अगर इनको पेरिफेरल प्रोटीन में एक बार मेंशन करते हैं तो आप it is not necessary to give a separate classification of the lipid anchored protein because it is already covered in the peripheral. Okay, but ये जो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन और दो लिपिड इनका कुछ ऐसा स्ट्रिक्ट क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं है, इसकी वजह से लिपिड एंकर इंटीग्रल में भी क्लासिफाई हो सकते हैं. इन लेनिंजर द लिपिड एंकर प्रोटीन्स आर कवर्ड इन द इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन ऑल्सो, because it is just how you perceive that structure. Okay, so you can just, or in case of peripheral proteins, you can just give these three examples, and you can just again classify it in the case of lipid anchor protein also. Okay, so ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं आपके पेरिफेरल में सिर्फ ये दो, इंटीग्रल में दूसरे जो टाइप है 6 टाइप वो दो अलग से, और लिपिड एंकर के अलग से दो. ओके, बट कहाँ से और किस क्लासिफिकेशन में लिपिड एंकर प्रोटीन्स को लेना है, इट इज जस्ट हाउ यू शुड डिसाइड. ओके, सो आई हैव क्लासिफाइड इट in the way like this, and also given the classification of lipid anchor proteins also, but किसी एक भी classification में आपने अगर mention किया हो तो उसको बाद में mention मत करना. ठीक है, so let's start with the peripheral proteins which are linked by isoprenoid tails. Okay, so this is the peripheral protein RAS, GTPase RAS, and which is linked by what? This lipid, or a peripheral linked by what? C terminal lipids. Okay, ये क्या होता है, this lipids just anchor inside the hydrophobic membrane. Okay, and that's why after it anchors, it forms a stable attachment with the membrane, so to it the RAS proteins attaches itself. So that's why they are lipid anchor, or the isoprenoid tail with the help of anchors, right? So next is the myristoyl tails. ये जो isoprenoid tail, अभी ये myristoyl है, this myristoyl tail attaches the SRC peptide, right? The SRC peptide. What is the tyrosine kinase SRC peptide? To the lipid bilayer membrane, to this lipid bilayer membrane. But in case of myristoyl, this attachment is not very strong, so it will also require some additional electrostatic interactions with this membrane also to stabilize this structure. Next is the GPI tails, or the glycosyl phosphatidylinositol tails. Okay, so examples, what are the examples? This annex, this TH51, or what? Acetylcholinesterase, or the cell surface antigen, or the cadherin, T-cadherin also. So these are what? GPRTS, आपको सिर्फ ये नाम मेंशन करना है और एक एक एग्जांपल देना है, ठीक है, बिकॉज स्ट्रक्चर तो आपने स्ट्रक्चर का डायग्राम तो पहले निकाला है, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्लास जो है जिसका इंफॉर्मेशन भी आपको देना पड़ेगा इज व्हाट इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक इंट्रैक्शन, like in case of annexine. See, these annexines forms or the establish some electrostatic interactions or the four attractions with the help of with what with hydrophilic groups of this lipid bilayer, and because of this electrostatic interaction they remain attached to the lipid bilayer. So the example is what annexine. Another example was bar domains, the partial penetration of the lipid bilayer. Next class is was partial membrane of the lipid bilayer. Partial membrane में क्या होता है? The prostaglandin synthase. As we have seen, the peripheral membrane protein does not come in direct contact with this lipid or the hydrophobic core. But in case of this prostaglandin synthase, the hydrophobic helices just partially penetrate this membrane. And because of this partial penetration, it gives some anchor to the membrane and just remain attached to the membrane. So these are what partial penetration of lipid bilayer membrane. Next is the association with integral proteins. Sometimes see, this is the cadherin, this is an integral protein. The cadherin has its domain which extends to the intracellular matrix also. Cadherin का जो दो डोमेन होता है वो इंट्रासेलुलर मैट्रिक्स पे भी एक्सटेंड होता है. To that domain beta catenin attaches, okay, है ना. So प्रोटीन को पेरिफेरल प्रोटीन इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन को अटैच होता है. So it is also what indirect attachment with the plasma membrane. So these are the 6 types which are under peripheral proteins, and so these are the examples. इनमें से कोई भी 2 या 3 क्लास आप मेंशन करो और उनका एक एक एग्जांपल दे दो, ओके. यू कैन जस्ट चूज एनी वन ऑफ इट. नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट इंटीग्रल. वैसे पहले ही हमने मेंशन किया है, बट दिस इज जस्ट क्लियर क्लासिफिकेशन, सो प्रेजेंटेशन में ही अच्छा दिखेगा, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज द इंटीग्रल मेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन्स. इंटीग्रल मेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन्स हमने देखा है कि जो क्या होता है ट्रांस मेम्ब्रेन जो विच स्पैन थ्रू दिस लिपिड hydrophobic core of the membrane, okay. There are 2 general classes, the proteins attached or anchored to the membrane by a small hydrophobic segment, or the globular proteins which are embedded in it. These are the different domains of the integral protein, है ना. So what are these domains are? The first type is what has single alpha helix, but NH3 domain is outside the cell. This is also a second type is what single alpha helix, but the NH3 domain is inside the cell. Type third में क्या है? It has multiple alpha helical structures, okay, which are spanning through this transmembrane for single protein. But in type 4 there are different individual alpha helix structures which come in contact with each other and form one domain. This is type 4. Type 6 में क्या है? It along with the lipid anchors, it also has alpha helical structure or alpha helix structure spanning across the transmembrane. Okay, these are type 6. अब type 5 में क्या क्या बोला मैंने? लिपिड एंकर पेरिफेरल में भी आ सकते कभी और इसमें भी क्लासिफाई कर सकते हैं. सो लेनिंजर में टाइप 6 टाइप 5 दिया है. दिस इज व्हाट इंटीग्रल मेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन विच आर एंकर्ड बाय अ लिपिड, ओके. सो अब मेंशन तो सभी में कर सकते हैं, ओके, क्योंकि कोई हर एक में एग्जांपल अलग अलग आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि एक एग्जांपल नहीं है, ओके. तो मेंशन भी क्लासिफिकेशन में आप डायग्राम में सब में डाल सकते हैं, जस्ट एक सिंगल पॉइंट डाल सकते हैं. दिस कैन आल्सो कम अंडर दिस आल्सो, ओके. नेक्स्ट द प्रोटीन विद अभी 3 जो टाइप्स है वो हम डिटेल में देखेंगे इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन्स के. द फर्स्ट टाइप इज व्हाट प्रोटीन विद द सिंगल अल्फा हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर. द एग्जांपल इज व्हाट ग्लाइकोफोरिन. ये एक डायग्राम आपने पहले ही निकाल चुका है, तो आप इस डायग्राम पे ही रिलाई कर सकते हैं. यू डोंट नीड टू डाइट, है ना. अगर आप हियर आपने 7 ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर डालेंगे तो ये भी डायग्राम आपको निकालने की ज़रूरत नहीं होगा, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज इसमें क्या एक्सप्लेन करना है? दिस आर द एंकर्ड बाय स्मॉल हाइड्रोफोबिक पॉलीपेप्टाइड अल्फा हेलिकल सेगमेंट, एंड दिस फंक्शन डिपेंड्स प्राइमरली ऑन व्हाट एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर डोमेन. Thus, the intracellular domain is often short of what? Of single transmembrane segment in case of single transmembrane protein. Examples are क्या है? receptor for antigens glycoprotein or receptor for extracellular molecules. Example was major transmission antigens H2 in mice और human leukocyte associated proteins. कोई भी एक एग्जाम्पल दो. But the oligosaccharide groups on the extracellular domains useful for what? ABO and MN blood group antigenic specificities के लिए ये यूजफुल होता है. ठीक है, तो ये एक एक एग्जाम्पल आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट 7 ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन हाइड्रोफोबिक अल्फा हेलिकल सेगमेंट प्रोटीन, है ना. ऐसे 7 ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन अल्फा हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं इसमें. ठीक है, द एग्जाम्पल इट वाज बैक्टीरियो रोडोप्सिन. ओके, and these are involved with transport activities, other functions which require portion of peptide to embedded in the membrane, and they are consist of many hydrophobic helical segments joined by a zigzag pattern back and forth across the membrane. This is about 7 transmembrane. Next type is what the porine beta sheet motif membrane proteins. These are, इसमें क्या होता है, बहुत से मोटिफ होते हैं अक्रॉस द मेम्ब्रेन. ओके, ये बाय लेयर का मेम्ब्रेन है. ठीक है, ये बाय लेयर का ये ऐसा सिचुएटेड होता है. सो दिस इज व्हाट द बीटा शीट, एंड these are the porine proteins which are found in what E. coli or mitochondria of eukaryotes. Example क्या है, maltodextrin. Okay, so these are the 3 types, main types: single alpha helix, 7 alpha helix, and what beta sheet. Or integral domain proteins connected by a hydrophobic domains plasma membrane. These are what the caveolin. The caveolin क्या है? This is a protein with 2 globular domains and which are connected by a hydrophobic domain to plasma membrane. And ये caveolin क्या करता है? Little cave-like structure form करता है, which have the receptor for what? Insulin, growth factors, GTP binding, and protein kinases. Okay. So next is what these are the different example of the integral proteins along with the structure. Okay, इनमें से कोई एक या दो आप मेंशन कर सकते हो, है ना. अभी ये जो स्पेसिफिक दिया है ना, अगर बहुत ही स्पेसिफिक ही क्वेश्चन आया है सिर्फ इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन्स पे, तो जो डिटेल्स मैंने इस नोट्स में दिया है वो आपके लिए बहुत यूज़फुल होंगे उस केस में. ठीक है, ऐसा हो भी सकता है ना. सो बट पूरा रिमेंबर करने का ज़रूरत है ही ऐसा नहीं है. एक एक अभी इस चैप्टर में ऐसा नहीं है, जब ज़रूरत होगी तब मैं बताऊंगा. एटलीस्ट फॉर नाउ एटलीस्ट रिमेंबर 1 or 2 एग्जाम्पल आउट ऑफ दिस 4. ओके, सो द इंटीग्रीन क्या कर सकता है, द एक्स्ट्रासेलुलर डोमेन्स कंबाइन टू फॉर्म बाइंडिंग साइट फॉर डाइवेलेंट मेटल आयंस एंड प्रोटीन्स ऑफ द एक्स्ट्रासेलुलर मैट्रिक्स के लिए इंटीग्रीन है. कैदरीन क्या है, इट हैज़ 4 कैल्शियम बाइंडिंग डोमेन्स फॉर बाइंडिंग विथ सेल सरफेस, दूसरे सेल सरफेस के बाइंडिंग के लिए कैदरीन. एनकैम क्या करता है, इट आर इम्यूनोग्लोबिन लाइक प्रोटीन दैट मीडिएट Ca+ डिपेंडेंट सरफेस प्रोटीन इंटरेक्शन विद द सरफेस प्रोटीन, है ना. और सेलेक्टिन क्या है, बाइंड टू कार्बोहाइड्रेट ग्रुप्स इन नेबरिंग सेल्स, है ना. दो अगर सेल्स के अटैचमेंट के बाद जो कार्बोहाइड्रेट का अटैचमेंट होता है वो विद द हेल्प ऑफ व्हाट सेलेक्टिन. So they are the direct example of integral proteins with the diagrams. Okay, next is lipid anchored proteins. Okay, अभी almost you just previously तो हमने mention किए, तो सिर्फ आपको classes mention करने हैं. amide link, thioester link, thioether link, amide link, GPI anchors. Okay, और उनके कोई भी एक एक example CAMP protein kinase, G protein coupled receptor, और the nuclear lamins और the adhesion molecules, है ना. तो अगर सिर्फ पहले ही मेंशन करने के बाद सिर्फ आपको सिर्फ क्या मेंशन करना पड़ेगा, दिस टाइप्स. इन्फॉर्मेशन तो हमने पहले ही दे चुकी है. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज द वर्ड ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन, है ना. दिस आर कंटेन द कोवैलेंटली लिंक्ड ओलिगो एंड पॉलीसैकेराइड ग्रुप्स. इसमें क्या है, ओ लिंक्ड है, क्या है, एन लिंक्ड है. एंड ओ लिंक के एग्जांपल्स 3 दिए हुए हैं, ल्यूकोसाइलिन, एलडीएल लिपोप्रोटीन और एंटीफ्रीज ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन. सो दिस आर द स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ दिस. ओके, स्ट्रक्चर में क्या फ़र्क है उसका, द आफ्टर दिस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन ग्लाइकोकालिक्स रीजन इज देयर. इसमें ज़्यादातर उनके कोई प्रोटीन के डोमेन्स नहीं होते, प्रोटीन ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स के. इन केस ऑफ एलडीएल रिसेप्टर एंड डीके एक्साइटिंग फैक्टर उनके डोमेन बहुत ऊपर होते हैं, हाँ, फ्रॉम ग्लाइकोकालिक्स. ओके, एंड एंटायर दिस स्ट्रक्चर इज व्हाट ग्लाइकोसिलेटेड ओ लिंक सैकेराइड में होते हैं वहाँ पर. ओके, इट हैज़ ओ लिंक सैकेराइड्स. And this leukosaline, it has what intracellular domain also. Okay, and LDL receptor के भी also has intracellular domain. एंड ओके, सो दिस इज द, कोई भी एक एग्जांपल आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो अंडर ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स ओ लिंक्ड सैकराइड्स, ठीक है, ल्यूकोसाइलिन या फिर दोनों में से एक. नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट, एन लिंक्ड सैकराइड्स में क्या है, these are the linked via amide nitrogen, example immunoglobulins G और M. And functions क्या है n linked saccharides के, altering the solubility, mass, stabilize the protein conformations. Okay, next the proteoglycans क्या है, these are nothing but the type of glycoproteins but have what, glycosaminoglycans as carbohydrate group. Then the proteoglycans consist of a core protein with one or more covalently attached glycosaminoglycans chains. Next is the proteoglycan functions क्या है, it modulates the cell growth, heparin and heparin sulfate are able to inhibit cell proliferation. Also the proteoglycans make cartilage flexible and resilient. कोई भी 2 या 3 एटलीस्ट फंक्शन मेंशन करना पड़ेगा आपको, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज द एग्जाम्पल, और ये डायग्राम सिंप्लीफाइड मैंने आपको लिए तैयार करके रखी है ना. तो इसमें क्या है, द फर्स्ट टाइप इज वॉट बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन प्रोटियोग्लाइकन्स. बेसमेंट में क्या है, परलिक एन एग्जाम्पल है उसको, विच हैज़ विच साइड चेन्स, हेपेरिन सल्फेट साइड चेन्स. द इंटीग्रल ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन जिसका डोमेन crosses through this lipid bilayer, they are called as integral transmembrane proteoglycans. उसके बारे में क्या है, the example are two, syndecan and glypican. Glypican is linked via what, GPI anchor, है ना, इंटीग्रल ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन में GPI एंकर से लिंक हुआ है. एंड इन केस ऑफ syndecan, two types of side chains are there, heparin sulfate side chains also there and chondroitin sulfate side chain also there. But in case of glypican side chains जो है प्रोटीन को, वो सिर्फ किसके है, हेपारिन सल्फेट के. थर्ड टाइप क्या है, प्रेजेंट इन एक्स्ट्रासेलुलर मैट्रिक्स. अब ये तो बेसमेंट क्यों कहा है इसको, बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन, बिकॉज नियर टू द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. ये इंटरमीडिएट है और बहुत ही दूर, वहाँ पर क्या मतलब प्योरली इन एक्स्ट्रासेलुलर मैट्रिक्स, वो क्या है, डेकोरिन. उसको कौन से साइड चेन से, डर्मेटन सल्फेट. बस ये डायग्राम मेंशन करने की, दैट्स इट ऑफ प्रोटियोग्लाइकन. सी दिस इज up to the different part of the fluid mosaic model, right? The protein, which are the glycoproteins, glycolipids, carbohydrate कौन सा है, proteins कौन सा है, lipids कौन सा है, cholesterol क्या है, all of this. But if you have gone through an original paper of Singer and Nicholson in 1972, in that the fluid mosaic model should also have information about the fluidity of the membrane, right? So that's why it is called as the fluid mosaic model, right? Until this we have just explained the structure. अगर आपको सिर्फ स्ट्रक्चर एक्सप्लेन करने को बोला फ्लूइड मोज़ेक मॉडल का, तो यहाँ तक का पार्ट ही ठीक है. बट इफ़ यू हैव asked only structure, then you should just mention the part we have covered until this. But if you have been asked about the short note or the note on or details of the fluid mosaic model, then you should also add a short note on or the half page note on the membrane fluidity. Okay, because once you have proved the membrane is fluid, then only this fluid mosaic model is complete. So let's go through this membrane fluidity. Membrane fluidity में क्या है, membrane fluidity of the bilayer is required for what, exocytosis, endocytosis, membrane transport and membrane biogenesis. Or we have already mentioned the functions in our earlier lecture of the why the membrane is required. Then the degree of bilayer fluidity is depends on what, the first part is the lipid content, the second is what the this is the second one, the structure of the phospholipid hydrophobic tails. Third is what, temperature. So these are the 3 points on which the membrane fluidity depends, right? And what does the fluidity means? See, this is the gel state and this is the fluid state. In the gel state में क्या होता है, this is a kind of compactly packed, a tight arrangement of this lipid bilayer. Because of this tight arrangement, the membrane cannot move, है ना, ज़्यादा move नहीं हो सकता. But see, consider these 4 as the lipid molecules. If they are tightly packed, this membrane would not able to move, है ना? This membrane will not be able to move. But in the fluid state, what happens is that in the fluid state, these lipid molecules are not in the closed compact arrangement. So that's why this membrane can show a kind of fluidity in it, right? And because of that fluidity, many molecules can pass through this membrane. Okay, so this is what the usefulness of the fluidity of the membrane is. So let's start with the first factor which is affecting this fluidity, that is the lipid content of the cholesterol content. So the cholesterol structure has a smaller hydrophilic group and bulkier hydrophobic group, as we have already seen, है ना. ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर होता है कोलेस्ट्रॉल का, ठीक है. यहाँ पर एक हाइड्रोफिलिक ग्रुप होता है, यहाँ पर एक रिजिड स्ट्रक्चर होता है, बाद में हाइड्रोफोबिक टेल होता है, ठीक है. So because of this structure, the cholesterol affects the membrane fluidity in both ways. How? At the relatively high temperature, what happens is that the hydrophobic structure of the cholesterol, this hydrophobic structure of the cholesterol, which is in contact with the lipid bilayer hydrophobic tails, right? This, what does it do? It decreases the tendency of bilayer to form a fluid state, and this increases the compactness and decreasing the fluidity. Now, how does it decrease the tendency of bilayer to form a fluid state? If this hydrophobic tail is not here, consider this hydrophobic tail is not there, this membrane can easily just transition into this phase of fluid state. But because of this hydrophobic tail, the interaction with other hydrophobic tails of the lipid molecules increases. Okay, and because of that increased interaction in between these hydrophobic tails with the hydrophobic tail of the cholesterol, they are not able to get separate out from each other. Okay, and as they are not able to separate out from each other, the space between them is filled with this cholesterol hydrophobic group. The cholesterol gives a kind of compactness to it, right? So that's why it increases the compactness of this hydrophobic tails. As they increase the compactness, in the same way, or because of this increased compactness, it's also decreased the fluidity of the membrane. Okay, so that's how the cholesterol function at the relatively high temperature. But at the relatively low temperature, what happens is that this hydrophobic tail does not allow to come in close contact. How? Suppose this hydrophobic tail of cholesterol is here. Now at the relatively low temperature, what happens is usually that all these lipids shift into this tight compact shape. But because of the presence of this cholesterol molecule, these loosely formed lipid molecules are not able to, or lipid hydrophobic tails are not able to get in contact compact state again. Why? Because this hydrophobic tail is in hindering their compactness. Okay, so it tends to keep them in that loosen stage also. So okay, so in that way it decreases the compactness. Okay, because these tails can easily come in contact and form a compact structure, है ना. These tails can easily come in contact and form a compact structure, but these tails will not be able to form a compact structure because of this the distortion in the structure of them, right? The distortion in the structure of this hydrophobic core. So that's why they will maintain a kind of loose attachment or the loose structure inside them. So that's why the fluidity increases in one way. So this is how the cholesterol affect the fluidity in both ways. Okay, so now let's see the second part, that is the structure of the phospholipid hydrophobic tails. How does it affect? Like if it has a long saturated fatty cell chains, these have the greatest tendency to aggregate, which gives rise to tightly packed gel state. If these chains are long, the tendency to aggregate is greatest because of the interaction in between these hydrophobic tails. Okay, but if these fatty cell chains are short, these have less surface area, right? So these have what? Less surface area. The number of interactions occurring will be what? Less. The fewer van der Waals interactions will lead to what? More fluid bilayers. But here you will say there are more van der Waals forces, so that's why they will be more compact. But because these are short, the van der Waals forces are less. These will be what? More fluid than this. So this is how the structure of phospholipid hydrophobic tail affects. Along with that, we have also seen that there are two chains, and in that one is saturated and one is unsaturated. This unsaturation gives a kink in the structure of this fatty acyl chain because of the double layer, because of the double bond. Okay, and because of this, the less stable van der Waals forces are formed, and as compared to others, and the fluidity is more, and as compared to saturated ones. Okay, so that's why these two factors are there. One is what? The length of the fatty acyl chain, and the second factor is what? The saturation of the fatty acyl chains. Okay, so this is how it controls the fluidity. Next part, last factor is the temperature. And what happens at the relatively low temperature, we have already seen, is that the gel phase or the paracrystalline phase, which is a semi-solid phase, is formed, which has the constrained motion of individual lipids, right? So, and what happens at the relatively high temperature, we have seen that when the temperature is low, they form a compact structure, so that's why it is a gel-like state. But at the higher temperature, a fluid state or the liquid disorder state is formed at a relatively high temperature. So a liquid disorder state is there. But at the intermediate temperature, the liquid order state, in which there is a little thermal motion in acyl chains but lateral motion in the plane of bilayer layer occurs. Okay, वहाँ पर पूरा membrane अगर नहीं मूव हुआ तो at least they move will what? A lateral movement will occur in case of intermediate temperature, है ना. टेम्परेचर लो होगा तब क्या होगा? कॉम्पैक्ट होगा, जेल स्टेट होगा. टेम्परेचर हाई होगा तब क्या होगा? इट विल बी अ फ्लूइड स्टेट, ओके, लिक्विड डिसऑर्डर स्टेट. But in the intermediate stage, it will what? Only give a kind of lateral movement and liquid ordered state, right? But at the physiologically range temperature, right, at near about the body temperature, the long chain saturated fatty acids pack into a liquid order state, but the kinks in unsaturated fatty acids disturb the state and favors the liquid disorder state. As shorter chain fatty acid, as we have seen, had the same effect, right, at the physiological range temperature. And all of these transitions which we have seen in the three factors, they are not the occurs instantly or immediately, they occurs gradually. Okay, so the ultimate, the membrane fluidity will be determined by all of the effect of all these three factors, right? So the next point is about so almost up to this, the complete fluid mosaic module should be complete and answer should be complete. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to give you the 2 pages 10 marks questions, previous year question, or the 3 pages answer of 15 or 20 marks question also. Okay, so even if you don't understand what to eliminate or what not to eliminate, you just stay connected with me. I will provide you the previous year questions, answers of all the questions which I have mentioned in my book, right? Obviously you will have to pay at some time. So now let's go through the biological membrane or the symmetry in with the biological membrane. Okay, this part यहाँ तक बहुत सारा पार्ट हमने ऑलरेडी कवर किया हुआ है, ठीक है. सो पर ये जो पार्ट है, this is about the structure of the bilayer membrane. Okay, so this is less likely to but still there are some chances that they can ask this point. Okay, so let's go through this. The biological membranes are the transverse and the lateral asymmetry. You know, what he wants to state is that these biological membranes are there, they show transverse asymmetry. Means what? The composition of this membrane is different from composition of this membrane. And the lateral asymmetry means what? The composition of this area is different from this area. Okay, now we will see the lateral membrane asymmetry. Okay, the lateral membrane asymmetry में भी क्या है? 2 पार्ट. Okay, प्रोटीन की वजह से asymmetry है और लिपिड की वजह से asymmetry है. प्रोटीन की how the protein asymmetry is there? Sometimes they are randomly distributed and non-randomly distributed. Okay, random distribution means what? Electron micrograph show that the integral membrane proteins are often randomly distributed in the membrane. मतलब क्या है? हाउ इज इट, इट कैन बी सेड कहीं पर यहाँ पर दिया हुआ है ना, कहीं पर यहाँ है या नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट what a symmetric distribution of protein. symmetric नहीं है. the distance between this, suppose this is an bilayer, अगर यहाँ पर है, यहाँ पर है, यहाँ पर है, तो ये क्या होगा, सिमेट्रिक होगा. पर ऐसा नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट द केस. sometimes the a protein is present here, sometimes it is present here, sometimes here. All the distribution of protein is what, random. Okay, and it is random across this lateral sides. Okay, also there is a non-random distribution. See, non-random does not means lateral symmetric. How? highly ordered purple patches of bacteriodopsin protein on the membranes of hollow bacteria. मतलब अगर कोई बैक्टीरिया है ना, the patches are ordered like they are suppose square shaped or circular shaped. They are non-random because they are occurs at the specific site, but the lateral asymmetry is still there in case of it. Okay, so just don't confuse with the non-random and asymmetry term. Okay, they are not opposite. Okay, so these are the two types of distribution of the proteins, the random and the non-random. Okay, the next is in case the asymmetry in case of the lipids, and the phase separation. What is the phase separation? And phase separation में क्या है? Lipids in model systems are often found in asymmetric cluster, referred to as phase separation induced divalent cations such as calcium. Calcium के बाद अगर ऐड किया calcium, if added, then what? It gives a asymmetric clusters of it. Okay, so that's why a cholesterol phospholipid aggregate can disturb the symmetry of homogeneous phospholipid surface. तो इसमें ऐसा बोला कि लिपिड भी फेज सेपरेशन देता है ना. So this is about the lateral symmetry. And now we will see the transverse membrane asymmetry. Okay, the protein asymmetry, in the protein asymmetry the Mark Brescher experiment is there. And वो क्या ये करेगा, he proved what, that the proteins are there, sometimes they have their N terminal here, sometimes they have their N terminal here, sometimes they have their C terminal here, sometimes they have their C terminal here. So this is kind of asymmetry, this is kind of transverse asymmetry. And how he proved, how the Mark Brescher proved it? He proved with the help of trypsin treated erythrocytes. And when he treated this erythrocyte with trypsin, the N terminal of the carbohydrate groups of glycophorin was the treatment of whole erythrocyte with trypsin released the N terminus carbohydrate groups of glycophorin. And when he treated this RBC with the trypsin, it releases the glycophorin, but trypsin is a much bulkier molecule, he cannot get into this, right? But even if the trypsin is bulky, he still has released the glycophorin. So that's why he concluded that this N terminal must be at what, extracellular space. अगर वो ये इंट्रासेलुलर में होता तो ट्रिप्सिन यहाँ जाता ही नहीं, और ट्रिप्सिन could not be able to release this glycophorin. So that's why he confirmed that the N terminal is at outside the surface. He also conducted an experiment for the C terminus, the S-formyl methionine sulfone methyl phosphate, that this moiety can label the C terminus of glycophorin, but only when he has the fragmented erythrocyte. Entire अगर RBC होंगे तो उसको ये C terminus को लेबल नहीं कर सकता था. So that's why he concluded that if he is not able to label the entire erythrocyte, and he is only able to label these fragments, that means the C terminus it must be in the inside, है ना. क्योंकि अगर बाहर होता तो वो intact erythrocyte को भी लेबल कर सकता था. If the C terminus would have been outside the surface, the S-formyl methyl sulfone methyl phosphate could label it the entire erythrocytes also, and if it is outside, but it is not able to label the entire erythrocyte. That's why he concluded that those C terminal must be present inside. Okay, so this was the Mark Brescher experiment. And in case of the lipids, the phospholipids are just distributed randomly and across the transverse. मैंने बोला यहाँ पर अलग lipids है, यहाँ पर अलग lipids है, and so that is kind of an asymmetry in the bilayer. But this kind of asymmetry is required because the electric charge on the membrane is just depend on these lipids. So that's why this asymmetry is required. Okay. Next is the membrane bilayer mobility. Okay. So what does it mean is that जो जिस सेल में जो ये प्रोटीन होते हैं सरफेस पे, these are able to what get travel in this bilayer laterally also. And how the Fry and Eridin experiment confirmed this mobility of this bilayer is he has taken a human cell with the human cell membrane antigens and a mouse cell with the mouse cell membrane antigens. He fused both the cells, and this fused cell he allowed to incubate for 37 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes. And in this he added a rhodamine labeled antibodies, fluorescent antibodies of red color, which were specific for this human membrane antigens. And also he added what fluorescein labeled green colored antibodies, which were specific for mouse cell antigens. Now what the Fry and Eridin observed in case of this fused cell is that all these red and green antibodies, fluorescent antibodies, are randomly or uniformly throughout distributed throughout these fused cells. So that's why he concluded that after the fusion, these antigens or these proteins must have traveled what along this lipid bilayer. Okay, so that's why he concluded this lipid bilayer mobility. Next is lipid bilayer transverse movement. Now अभी हमने क्या देखा लिपिड फ्राई और एडिडिन एक्सपेरिमेंट में क्या देखा हमने, ये यहाँ से यहाँ कैसे जाता है. ठीक है, सपोज अगर ये ह्यूमन सेल का ये है, सपोज ह्यूमन सेल का लेयर है ना, ये फ्यूज सेल है. दिस वाज द बायलेयर मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द ह्यूमन सेल and this was the bilayer part of the mouse cell. What we have seen is that this has transferred to this and this has transferred to this side. So this was the bilayer mobility. Now what we will see is that the lipids or the proteins at this side can transfer to this side. Now this transfer of transfer of proteins can occur in two ways. First is uncatalyzed ways, but this will take a very long time to get to opposite side. But this process can happen in a very short time with the help of flippage proteins, like the flippages. What these flippages do is that they just come into contact with this molecule or the lipids, and it just flip this protein or the lipids in the another side. Okay, so these are the flippages, are the proteins that can flip phospholipids from one side of the layer to the another side. Okay, and this is the ATP dependent flippages may be responsible for lipid asymmetric across the membrane. Okay, so these are all the points which could come under this cell membrane point. Okay, इससे अलावा आपको कोई भी पॉइंट नहीं करना है, किसी भी बुक में जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. मैंने ऑलमोस्ट 10 से 15 बुक में रेफ़र किए हैं. ऑलमोस्ट ऑब्वियसली 10 से 15 का हर एक कोई पार्ट नहीं लिया, उसमें से कुछ 5-6 बुक में जो इम्पोर्टेंट बुक्स थे वो मैंने पॉइंट ले लिए. बट 10 से 15 बुक्स तो मैंने पढ़े ही है, थोड़ा का बहुत का होना कुछ ना हर एक बारे में. और आई विल शेयर द स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ those 15 books which I have referred for the cell biology chapter. Okay, so this was the part of the previous year questions. Okay, so once we have covered the entire cell biology point, we will also have a regular previous year question practice on Saturday or Sunday. Okay, so And for the answers of these, you will have to be stay connected with me on the Bhosle's zoology group, so where we will practice these questions. Okay, so all these questions now I will send in the group also. You try to write these answers of this. I will provide the model answer on Monday 3 p.m. Zoom live session. Okay, but before that you should try to answer at least 2 of these questions. Okay, इसमें से कुछ क्वेश्चन है जिसमें some part जो है वो will be covered later also of translation and all that, है ना. कुछ जो मतलब 4 टॉपिक का थोड़ा थोड़ा लेके 4 चैप्टर का थोड़ा थोड़ा लेके कुछ क्वेश्चन बनते हैं, वो क्वेश्चन हम बाद में करेंगे. ओके, बट यू कैन आंसर द स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन ऑफ प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, है ना. द डिस्क्राइब द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन अकॉर्डिंग टू द फ्लूइड मोजाइक मॉडल with emphasis on role of lipid molecules in maintaining the fluidity of membrane. Okay, I have mentioned you, or I have given you all the knowledge that is inside the book. Okay, now it's your duty how you can accommodate that answer in a 2 page or 3 page. Okay, ये जो क्वेश्चन है 60 मार्क का, तो अभी तो 60 मार्क्स के कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आते, ठीक है, बट यू कैन अटेम्प्ट अदर्स क्वेश्चन एटलीस्ट, है ना. आइसोलेशन मेथोडोलॉजी एंड स्टडी ऑफ सेल मेम्ब्रेन्स का पॉइंट भी हमने कवर किया है ऑलरेडी. ओके, एंड अभी जो भी मैं कुछ नोट्स अभी शेयर कर रहा हूँ ग्रुप में, वट एवर द नोट्स आई एम शेयरिंग इन द टेलीग्राम ग्रुप. ओके, एट द टाइम ऑफ cell biology complete notes release, and when I will release the complete notes of cell biology, at that time I will also enrich these notes with some additional points, like there are some 3 to 4 models of the biological membrane are also there are some recent additions about the fluid mosaic model are there. I will add those points in the final draft of notes. Okay, दिस ऑब्वियसली ये अभी मैंने फ्री में दे रहा हूँ, तो जो वो जो फाइनल ड्राफ्ट हर एक चैप्टर का मैं रिलीज़ करना है, 13 चैप्टर है हमें, सो आई विल रिलीज द 13 चैप्टर नोट्स वन बाय वन, एंड वंस द 13 चैप्टर्स आर ओवर we can release all the notes in a single draft. Okay, so for now at least solve the 2 questions out of these, and let's meet on Monday 3 p.m. on Zoom live session. I will share the link of that Zoom live session on the channel only. So have a nice day.